Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the episode or another chapter review of Kaiju No.8 with yours truly, Anime Vibes. And today we're going to cover Kaiju Chapter 75 and 76. And I'm going to keep doing this until we're caught our way up because I do know everybody is not either caught up with the series or they're just not getting into it. So me being behind also helps other people catch up. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe button and leave a comment down in the comment section. That way I can make better videos, and your feedback, it's always highly appreciated because without criticism, we can't make better videos as content creators. But with that being said, we're jumping in chapter 75. The last time we left off, Hoshina and Kaiju number 10 just took out the main alpha that was in that airport hangar, and as they're walking by, everyone is excited. Okinaja and some other dude, I don't remember his name, and he's like, man, Captain Hoshima, this guy is the real monster. And as they're standing there, Kaiju number 10 is like, yeah. Now let's wipe out the officers. And everybody's like,
hey, yo, what the fuck?
bro, what? Like, are you crazy? He's like, well, I'm tired of fighting Kaiju. I want to fight something else. And, that proves that Kaiju number 10 is really just out for himself, really. And he's like a toddler with the power of a demigod. That's not a good mix at all. And we see that the more they fight because he's like, okay, cool. And the fact that he even announced that he wanted to take out the officers, that's hella psychotic. But I'm not surprised or shocked by that because that's who Kaiju number 10 is. But Okinoji, she makes a great analysis and says if he can unleash his combat power up to 90%, the abilities he would have would be unfathomable. And of course, if you don't know by now, there's a bit of a rivalry between Narumi and Captain Hoshina. And Captain Narumi hasn't finished his part, and he's kind of sitting there monologuing to himself thinking, I can hear old Bokas now, because that's the nickname he calls Vice Captain Hoshina. And I think the rivalry is pretty funny. It reminds me of Tien and Yamcha. Yeah, because it's damn near the same thing, even though we know Tien is better. But anyway, so they're analyzing that. And meanwhile, they're trying to evacuate the city because right now they can't really get everyone out due to the traffic. And you would think that would be the least of their problems. However, on the horizon, there are 6 mega-sized kaiju in the distance, and these are the biggest kaiju we have been introduced to in the series. And I mean, these guys are gigantic. And there's 6 of them. And Officer Shinonome, she knows that just taking down one of those things would be a complete hassle. So trying to take down all 6 at the same time would be damn near impossible. And that's when Kafaka chimes in and says, hey, well, let me transform and I can take care of them. And she lets him know that, hey, if we let you transform, then we run the risk of Kaiju number 9 knowing your location, and we can't have that. So we're limiting your deployment to the most important phase. Meanwhile, they notice the kaiju, or the supersized kaiju, and they're starting to transform and their heat temperatures begin to rise, meaning they're about to attack. And in that instance of them talking about what to do, the kaiju lets off an attack similar to a Kiji bomb from Naruto, and it clears half of the city. If you ever watched Naruto and seen the Kiji bombs, they're like condensed forms of energy, and they will clear an entire area with no problem. So now they're like, okay, what do we do next? And then they get a transmission from someone who is a very familiar voice and says, stand by, artillery rounds are on the way, and Kafaka recognizes that voice as Mina. So Mina's hooked up to this gun, and I mean this cannon, that's what it is. It's basically a giant cannon, and she's somewhere in the southwest city, and she has a locked location on each of the giant supersized kaiju, which it confuses Shinonoma for a little bit because she's in the next city over. And just then, the kaiju behind Shinonoma, it explodes. So now everyone's in shock because they're like, she's 20 kilometers away and she hit that. And for retrospect, 20 kilometers is 12 miles away. Yes, she is 12 miles away hitting these supersized kaiju. That should just give you an idea of how big they really are. And she's on top of a roof with this giant cannon, which we never get an explanation of how that even got up there, or even if they dropped it off or airlifted it, I don't know. I think they explain it in the next chapter or the previous one. I don't recall, but yeah, that's a big-ass cannon. And it would only make sense that this giant cannon, known as the anti-giant class Kaiju railgun, would be dedicated to Mina. But it also has a name. The computer system's name is Kuronos. And if you don't know, Kuronos means lightning bolt or thunderbolt in Greek. And it makes sense because that thing probably sounds like thunder and it hits like lightning, as we see as she, with no hesitation, loads up another round and hits another kaiju, which causes it to explode. And I can only imagine the mess and the feeling that thing leaves every time it lets off a shot. And as you can see, this gun decimates anything that it hits. Like, it's a one-hit one KO, hitter quitter, one shot, one kill. And Rin Shinonome, she's completely just in shock at the raw power that Mina has. And she knows to herself, like, wow, this is the power of the vice captain of the 3rd Division, Mina Shino. And she just captivated. Everyone is just amazed at how just amazing that, Mina is. Like, she's basically the shit, bro. And as we end this chapter, it ends with Mina just simply saying, load another round, because if you know anything about Mina, she's serious. She gets the job done. She's like future Trunks. She sees it, she comes, she conquers, she leaves. Now that chapter 75 is ended, we jump into chapter 76. It's a big tongue twister trying, memorize all this stuff. But we pick up where we left off at, with everyone just in shock that Mina has just raw potential and power. And of course, Narumi at the bottom, you see, he's not too happy about that, because he's used to getting all the shine. But hey, you can't always be number one. Someone has to take the spot sometimes. But Kafaka, he's amazed. Everyone else is amazed. And we just see her blurring these kaiju like it's nothing. And I like this. I like to see that. I like how Kaiju number 8 doesn't hold back the gore, none of that when they're getting hit, beat, or even if it's the officers getting beat up. It's just all out there, raw power. But Vice Captain Iji, he knows that larger kaiju weapons, they require a greater variety and quantity of kaiju tissue in order to bring out the full potential of the suit and its power. And you literally have to be built for this. And he knows that the only person really capable of doing that in the world is Mina, which it kind of shocked me, because I'd expect that from Narumi or Hoshina. Narumi or Shishiro, which is kind of shocking that it's Mina. But I guess, as they say, women tend to have more talent. Men might be stronger, but women have more raw talent. As we can clearly see through Mina, and Vice Captain Iji knows that if they had her talent back when the number 6 cataclysm occurred, that they would have mitigated a third of the damage that happened. And another one, the scientist knows that the cannon is about at stage 2 erosion, and Mina, she's like, it's cool, don't worry, I'll take it on this shot, load the next round. In which in that next round, Rin Shinonome, she knows that, hey, we can't miss the opportunity to get the civilians out. So while she's loading the next round, let's hurry up and get them out and evacuate the area, which is good, because by the time that round's hit, that kaiju will be damn near everywhere, and they'll be able to evacuate the civilians quickly and safely. And she does that. Now, when she hits the kaiju this time, it's not like the others when it just explodes, but it goes through the kaiju, and even the kaiju's confused. Hell, I was confused, because the hole had to probably be about the size of a minivan, but when it finally went off, it just completely decimated that kaiju. And you kind of feel bad for them a little bit, because it's like, damn, they really didn't even have a fighting chance at this. Like, not a chance in hell. And as Mina takes a sigh of relief, everyone takes this important time, which they really don't have time to spare, to move in and get everyone cleared out. And Kafaka, he's excited, because he's like, hell yeah, this is what he's dreamed of seeing Mina do, like achieve her dream and just prove that she is the best of the best. But he also forgets in his excitement that his radio is still on. So Ren is kind of like the Kafaka corpse, like, bro, what did you want, bro? Like, what are you doing right now? Remain focused and go to the locations that I sent you, in which Kafaka obliges to and runs off. And it's starting to look real good for the defense force. They're clearing out all the areas of the kaiju and evacuating the civilians, which was the plan all along. However, Narumi and Kiku kind of note that, nah, not yet. Like, it's too easy. Like, something doesn't quite feel right. And even Vice Captain Iji, he notes that the kaiju aren't taking much stock in really destroying anything. They're kind of just popping up in all these places, causing disarray and confusion, but they're not really putting much effort to it, really destroying anything. And as the reader, I didn't really pay attention to that. And then I kind of noticed, like, yo, they really weren't destroying anything unless they were on the defense force. Meanwhile, they were really just kind of walking around, just, there just to be seen. So it makes you wonder, like, something else is going on here. Something's not adding up. And Narumi notes that they're after something, and just like a supervillain, Kaiju number 9 appears with a bell in hand, which is kind of different. And he knows some stuff, Kaiju number 8 didn't show himself, but that's fine, because all my pieces are in place. And then things start to happen. Out of nowhere, this water starts appearing in the city, and the other officers are like, water at this time? Like, that's pretty damn random. Like, we're not even near the ocean. And then one of the scientists notes that there's a kaiju in the area with a fortitude of 9, and its readings are off the chart, aka that kaiju. And Narumi also notes again that, Kaiju number 9 must be making his move, and which he does, because then we see this alien versus predator type of kaiju, and it's huge. And with a reading of 9.0, yeah, if you don't know how to maximize the potential of your suit to like at least 70-80%, you're gonna get washed. And then another appears right in front of Kikaru, only the difference with the one in front of Kikaru is it looks like her. It's almost like a Goku Black situation, which is creepy because I am dying to see how that's about to turn out. I really want to see how this doppelganger kaiju is going to act with Kikaru, because I feel like some nutty shit is about to go down. And then Shishiro also knows that, hey, there's one over here too. And kaiju number 10, I like his reaction because he's giving it the side eye like, oh yeah, another opponent, let me see what you're made of, which I like that because I want to see this fight so bad. But Kurusu, that's the scientist's name. I couldn't remember his name for the longest. Kurusu starts to freak out because he's knowing these readings in Tachikawa and Ozumi, and he's like, these kaiju all over the place, they're Dai Kaiju. He's never, hell, nobody has ever seen this many Dai Kaiju all at once in scattered areas. So it's pretty much like Battle of the Gods going on right now in Japan, and it's not looking good. And then we see the generals. These are the new release generals of Kaiju number 9. This is what he's been cooking up the entire time that he's been in hiding. So it wasn't like he was just hiding and plotting. He was hiding, plotting, planning, and creating new generals. And they look like they want all the smoke. Just like Kikuru's doppelganger, she knows that, or it knows that, Kikuru Shinomura, I finally found you. The second wave. And that ends chapter 76 of Kaiju number 8. Now, I don't know how this is going to end for everybody because it's about to get extremely wavy. And then I want to know how this kaiju even knows Kikaru by name. And this is the only kaiju aside of number 10 and number 9 that we've seen having the capabilities to really like talk to people. So now it's getting really creepy because it's like, if kaiju number 9 has this much fortitude or capabilities to set plan traps and create new generals that are damn near as strong as him, who's leading kaiju number 9? That's the real big question. When this all comes to an end, I want to see that. And then one of those kaiju is like hella mysterious, so I don't even think that it's its real form, but we'll see later on. But that ends chapter 75 and 76. So stay tuned for the next ones because chapter 84 is about to drop. So if you're caught up, read it. If not, don't worry, when I get there, I'll cover all that too. But with that being said, appreciate the listen, appreciate the views. Leave a like and a comment down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see. And let me know so I can make better content. I'm here for you guys. I just do this for fun. Like, I just love anime and manga. But with that being said, anime vibes out. Peace, love, and be safe.